Father, we thank you for this opportunity to meet together, sit together, and share ideas together. So we pray that you will grant us wisdom, understanding, to have a very fruitful, insightful, and productive discussion today. And above all, may this yield fruits for our region and our nation. Let the outcome and output of this event be a blessing to the Southeast region and to Nigeria. This we pray in Jesus' name.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Just a few recognitions before we go ahead, because we will definitely break cola. In Igbo land, no event really starts properly without the breaking of cola. So we will have that as well. I want to recognize the presence of Engineer Michael Reke, the COO Anambra State ICT Agency and the LOC of NSB. He's also part of the people who are engineering what's going on today. Welcome, Mr. Michael. Please, can you read us a little bit? Let's see you. Mr. Engineer Michael, welcome. Came in all the way from Oka to be here with us today. We also have Mr. Chineye Mba Uzo, who, if you have anything to do with the ICT world and sector, you definitely know this name. In due time, we will tell you more about him, and he will be up here too to talk to us. We also have Chief Dr. Paul Ali Odo Clan in Odi. He is here with us. He's the father in the house. We want to recognize him. Welcome, sir. All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And we also have, of course, our host, Honorable Arinze Chilo of here, head of the Enugu SME Center here as well. Mr. Arinze, Honorable Arinze, please, can you greet us? Welcome. Thank you. And he's very contributive to the fact that this is happening here in Enugu today, and it's a good thing. When I saw the package and everything involved in this particular event, why it's happening, I was like, it's a very laudable one.
I see quite a few people, and I'd want to ask for your permission. We may not be able to recognize a lot of people for one simple reason. A lot of the communication we've had, unfortunately or fortunately, due to the nature of everything, you hear people's voices, you see their text messages, but you don't see their faces. So I've spoken with people from different states who have all promised to be here today. From Abakaliki, from Owerri, from Aba, from Umuahia, and said they would definitely be here today. But I may not know you're the one. And normally would want to recognize you. This is Nigeria. We recognize our people, and we also accord them those courtesies. So please do indulge with us for today, because I don't know a lot of the people I've spoken with, facially. But I want to tell you all this one thing. Thank you all for your time here today. And as we go on into the event, you'll understand the importance and the gravity of why we're having this town hall meeting. Now let's get to what NSB is all about. Now, most of us know what is going on in the technology space. You keep hearing or you keep reading news that, oh, this small company or this small product from nowhere has risen up and is so important that even investors from outside Nigeria are investing money into these new, as they call them, startups. Because I was just discussing with a friend yesterday, a startup is even a new terminology. It is not even something that is conventional. Because the assumption is that, oh, startup is a starting business and everything. It's an SME. It's not exactly that. So it is good that we get it right because of one, the importance to technology, and two, the fact that a lot of Nigeria's growth in the future is going to be expected from there, and the fact that even foreign investment is coming in through the so-called startups. So long and short, the concept of startups is even a new thing worldwide. It's old, but it's new. It's catching on. Let me use that word. It's catching on. The concept of startups. A startup is when you take a minimum product and package it as a business and be able to deliver it to the public, it makes sales, and at some point, you, the investors, are able to raise capital or sell off the business. That is what a startup is in layman's terms. But of course, the very big experts who have been doing startups for the past 10, 20 years are here in this room today. It's a privilege to have Chinenye. He came all the way from Lagos just to be able to give us a talk and be able to encourage the startups that are around. So now, because it's a new category of business, it's not the normal open a shop, put plenty products on the aisles of the shop, start selling. Single product, that's where it all starts from. And who are the famous startups? Facebook, Google, and all the rest of them. It's still the same concept of startups that is now transcending to Nigeria. You hear of so many startups in Lagos, OPay, Paystack, Flutterwave, and all the rest of them. So what is happening now is that the Nigerian government and our international partners, Google, DFID, and all the rest of them, you can see the sponsors of the event, have said, let us get a bill and a policy for startups so that they are handled in the proper way and they are encouraged and that they will flourish in the environment. Because it's one thing to train our people to know how to run startups, but if the enabling environment is not in place, it's going to create a lot of bottlenecks and Nigeria will not be competitive. Because computers have really made the world a global village. They've compressed everything. So a startup from India can actually influence the market in Nigeria. And it can even go vice versa as well. A startup in Nigeria can influence by a product, a tech product they create, can influence the market in Malawi or Tanzania. The world really is a global village. So because of that, let's get our act right. That's what this thing is all about. And the proper way of putting a bill before the National Assembly is stakeholders are meant to be part of the process. They're meant to speak their mind. They're meant to make their inputs. Those inputs are meant to be part of the policy so that it follows what the needs are, the true needs of the beneficiaries of the bill. So we've gone out of our way to invite government agencies, legislators, chambers of commerce, academics. I can see there are one or two academics here today, and the tech industry itself. So that is what the audience comprises of. And I understand online we have quite a number of people who are streaming, who are watching this by the live stream online and from Zoom. So the world really is an e-village now, because you can have a meeting here, but people in Lagos are part of this meeting. People in Abuja are part of the meeting. So you're all welcome to the National Startup Bill, Southeast Regional Meeting. There are 6 regions in Nigeria. The other regions have done their meetings already. We're the final one. And after this, it will now be presented to the National Assembly. So you're part of making history as far as startups in Nigeria is concerned. You understand that? And not just that. The actual intention is that the startup bill would not just stop at the federal level. The states are expected to implement their own startup bills and policies to make the environments favorable and conducive for the startup industry. So we'd want you to partake, ask questions you need to ask, and also make your suggestions, because those suggestions will be put into the record of what's going on and sent to the coordinating committee for the National Startup Bill. So let's not waste too much time. I hope everything is understood in a nutshell. Once again, you're welcome.
I want to thank you, first of all, for coming. I know that the circumstances are a bit different now, and the expectation may or may not have been that we would have this kind of turnout. So I'm really, really, really grateful. And I think the fact that we have people from all the states is perhaps more important than having a large stadium, size type of event. Also, the quality of the people who are here. Many of you I know, some I saw from yesterday, are representative of the kind of people who make up this ecosystem that we are trying to work on. So my task this morning really is just to put some more context to it, because when they say startup and startup ecosystem, I'm not 100% sure that we are all on the same page. And what's important is that when we leave here today, we should have done a number of things. We should, first of all, understand fully what is at stake. right? What is involved, what is at stake. We should also be able to have our voices heard as participants in this trajectory that the world is on. So it should be clear to us that whether we move or we don't move, the world is moving out of our pockets. It's been a process. And the bill was actually made available. People saw it and contributed to it, and it was socialized in various places. But we didn't do the, perhaps what we are learning should be that we probably need to do the town halls before we finalize the bill. Before we get to the point where we have a bill that goes to the assembly. So that is a key learning for us. So we've heard the same thing in most other places, that a lot of people said they didn't get to see it. The approach that we took was to go from create this big tent. Inside the big tent, we went to industry associations. Like I represent an association, a professional association. We were part of it, and many others that were like that. But we came to understand that a bill like this isn't about a few, relatively few number of individual organizations. It's actually a bill for the people. So the town halls are probably, and it would have been a very good way for us to have gotten feedback even before we concluded what is the current version of the bill. So I just want to take take note of what you said, and you are correct. That should have been the way that we will go. It's interesting, and just on that one point, I just wanted to say that, there's something that we realized as well. This approach that we've taken to the Nigeria Startup Bill is unprecedented in Nigeria's legislative history. It's a new way of doing things, and it's one that is probably, because like I said, we've been in advocacy for over 20 years. This is the fastest that we have ever got into in terms of, and the most comprehensive in terms of designing something from zero and taking it to where it is now within this period of time. It's unheard of, and it's because of the big tent approach. It was an open, but it was a very inclusive kind of thing. We identified all the various stakeholder categories. We reached out to everyone. We invited, in fact, even for the government, we socialized it in government. We called all the MDAs, ministries, departments, and agencies of government were called together. And we spent 2 days debating the elements of the bill. And then we created another version. And then we took that version and then we went to the industry. Everybody, all the various industry associations all came together and looked at it, and so on and so forth. So it has been a very collaborative type of approach. And that's why we have gotten to the point. Normally when a bill comes out, you hear it has come out, and then it now goes for public hearing. And people are saying, we didn't see this, we're not part of it. Nobody can say they're not a part of this one. It was done that way. But we saw that gap in terms of how we land it. Because when things are done in Abuja or some outside of the stakeholder, the real stakeholder is the subnational. It's the region, it's the state, it's the city, it's the village. So unless you bring that bill to the village, that level, and enable participation, you can't say that you have done something that covers everybody's interest. Lastly, there's no bill that will be perfect. There's none that will be perfect. There will always be something inside there that somebody will want it to be in a different way. Some people have said, you shouldn't have a council. Some people say, you shouldn't register startups. We've debated at length as to why we should have a council. And we've understood that in the general scheme of things, if you want to partake of what is coming out of the bill, you must be a known entity. So you must register. Somehow you must be registered and identified. Just like say you want to go and vote, you don't have voters card.
Let's welcome all the way from Imo State, Food Brand, all the way from Imo State, Israel Chigozirim. A round of applause for him as he comes up. A round of applause for him. We also have Francis Owums, who was here earlier. I don't know if he's still here. Otherwise, let's also welcome Clinton Tochukwu Chukwuneke, Clintonel. Let's welcome him. Francis Owums is from Imo State too. Welcome, good to have you. And please, let's welcome Chima Abafo, Zen Finance, right here in Enugu, doing amazing stuff. We have Chinedu Aniagwa. So Zikam Logistics, that's from Anambra. That's from Anambra. Can we have Ikenna Anierobi, Food Security Onitsha? Please, a round of applause for him as he comes up. Ikenna Anierobi. All right, so we have Imo, we have Enugu, we have Anambra. Is Abia here? The Abia State person. Okay, Chemela Anosike Solar Rest. Please, a round of applause. And that's good. She's breaking that chain. Let's have a woman in our midst. A round of applause. Welcome, Chemela. All right, thank you very much. Okay, so I think we will run with this number. Uche Aniche of course has been doing a lot in the startup area. Is supposed to be part of this.
Introduce ourselves and our startups, because I think it's important that people here get to understand, your startups and what you do. So I think we'll start with you.
Okay. Good day, everyone. My name is Tochukwu Clinton Chukwueke. I'm the founder of Clintonel Innovation Center, CIC Aba. CIC is a makerspace, which means an engineering or a hardware-focused technology hub. So what we do is that we provide training, mentoring, and access to equipment for young people to create engineering products, innovations, indigenous products, and then start up businesses or enterprises. So in essence, we train and support and incubate hardware-based or engineering-based startups. And of course, we are from Aba. We are based in Aba, Abia State. Thank you.
My name is Abafo Chima. I'm a co-founder for multiple startups. Some of them include Ogugo. Ogugo is into logistics, do food delivery, logistics. They are here in Enugu. Another one is Ycrypt. It's for Wi-Fi sharing, decentralized Wi-Fi sharing. Then Zen Finance, that's on the blockchain. Build an application that enables you to save your money in US dollars and earn interest in dollars instead of like saving naira. And many other startups, including gaming startups too. And most of them are here in Enugu. So I'm happy to be here to share experiences, because across building these different startups, which we even had startups that failed, that we stopped, and other ones that have been successful, right? So it's really not been easy, right? Building all the startups, and I'm happy to share experiences here with us today. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chemela Anosike. I'm the founder of Solaris. I came from Aba at the state where we're based. Solaris is a green startup, I love it that way, that offers products and services that contribute towards building a sustainable Nigeria, sustainable Africa, and the world, because we are actually focused on climate action. Now, a lot of put it this way: the greener, the better, because of the climate. We're not ignorant of the climate actions happening around us and all of that. Now, we have a focus on renewable energy, climate education, and recycling. On renewable energy, we build power packs, integrated solar systems that can be used in homes and offices. We build solar-powered booths, which we deploy in higher institutions for charging mobile devices. Now, all in the aim of reducing the conventional for charging businesses, reducing the use of the conventional power generators and all of that. Now, climate education, we want to inspire young persons in secondary school to be able to take up careers in green industries, to be able to see opportunities in green industries, to be able to take up careers on those paths. We also want to make them become conscious and aware of their environment, so as by so doing they make better choices, take better opportunities, and all of that to reduce their own personal carbon footprint. Now, recycling, we did a project with the Aba Leather Cluster, and during that project, that the leather cluster, I think Aba has the largest leather cluster in Africa. They produce a lot of leather waste. Now, by so doing, this leather waste go to landfills. Now, I started thinking of the way we could actually walk around. So, started gathering those leather waste, upcycling them into lifestyle products. So, like earrings, headbands, bracelets and all of that. So that's basically what we do at Solaris. Thank you.
My name is Uche Aniche, convener of Startup South. I've been told to complete this session, and I'm happy to be here. So I'm just going to, just ask the first question. Maybe just start from where you stopped. My understanding of what you have said, or my summary of what you've said, is the fact that, and you don't have to be the one answering the question really, because it's directed to anybody. My summary is that you are saying in effect that there's talent issue.
Yes, of course.
Talent issue, which is why we have people from other places coming in here to take the job and do the job, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's one of the challenges. So I would like to know if everybody else agrees that there's talent issue. I would like to understand. So that's a challenge, and I'd like to understand how we are currently dealing with that challenge. So anybody can take it up. It doesn't have to be you.
So if talent is a problem, I would say
Chima first tell me, is talent a problem for you? All of you have been philosophizing. That's the truth.
yes, the truth
Is talent a problem for you? Yes or no? If it is yes, tell me how you're dealing with it.
yes, talent is a problem.
So how are you dealing with it?
From here, talent is a problem.
From here, talent is a problem.
Yes.
How are you dealing
Now,
with it?
I'll give you an instance because it's a growth process, right? So as an early startup, how we did it was now we had like a space, like our office was an open space, right? So we got in a lot of people that came in and they were like, I want to learn how to write programs. But what we're into software. I'm a software developer, I'm a product manager, also do some of design and stuff like that. So the main thing we had to do was just to pass down these skills to people. And see that if somebody is very serious, right, it takes 6 months to 1 year for this person to be able to contribute to real projects, right? So most of the people that are able to stay up to those 6 months to a year, in fact, like all the people that I started with, more than 90% are still with me now. Some of them are now working for companies in the US, in the UK, because all of them are very good, like they develop world-class software, right? But now, getting people again here, like I want to hire now, it's difficult because now I don't have the bandwidth to start training. So right now, I need people that are very skilled. So getting skilled people now, is an issue. So how we do it is like, we're also part of GDG. We also encourage people to do things, right? If people in GDG or people in our economy, like I'm using GDG because part of the ecosystem, right? If developers are coming out of there, we have designers coming out of there, and we are supporting all these programs, right? And we need developers that can come into the group and say, I have an opening, right? And I've hired a lot of people from there right now. Most of the people that work for me are from this ecosystem, and it's because we are supporting it. So it's better for us, right? Other people that we can't get here, we just have to put out an ad, and we have somebody from Lagos, from Japan, from China working for us now, doing like those advanced things that I can't get people to do here.
Awesome. Here, President Ebonyi's Chamber of Commerce. All right, let's have Professor Benjamin Ozumba, UNN. Please, a round of applause for him. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for all you do in this system. Thank you. Welcome, sir. Okay, a few of the people who were invited for this section are not here, but we'll still have to run with the people we have here. We have 3 people on the panel.
When Uche was talking in the other panel, he talked about ROA Hub. I mean, but beyond ROA Hub, I know there was also the UNN ICT Park, and I know there were efforts around assemblage of laptops in the university. I know there was a generation of clean electricity quite a number of other efforts, during your administration, and which is why I can say again that a UNN graduate is ahead of you naturally. Okay, I'm sorry, So, Prof, I want to ask, in your experience, what do you think can be done to help foster that partnership between academia, government, and industry, especially in the Southeast? Because it looks like there's quite a lot of, we're all working in our different silos, and there is no collaboration.
Good afternoon, all. Thank you. I'll go immediately to your question. What could be done to foster relationship between the business, the government, and academia? I'll tell you that my administration has already solved that and given an example nationally in Africa. I'll go straight to the point. As we heard, which Adichie told you, we set up the first technological incubator in Nigeria, Iroa Hall. Was there anyone before it? And we produce entrepreneurship of Google, we produce and so on. I'm going to launch 3 startups personally before the year runs out. Now listen, I just what he said. I set up the first science park. Science park, at least in the sub-region, the Lion Science Park. Now, Innocent Motors are moved in there to produce tractors, possibly cheap tractors that are used to revolutionize agriculture in Nigeria. Now, Innocent is private business. Am I right? University of Nigeria is academia. Am I right? The government that produced the money for setting up the science park is there. That is the triple helix. That is why I went directly. Said what has been done that hasn't. I've already solved that problem. That is what everybody is asking all over the world. Why don't you just replicate what Professor Zumba has done in the University of Nigeria? Because right now I have a bill in the National Assembly about setting up the National Innovation Agency. That addresses more than even your startup. The National what? Agency. They have it in Sweden. I'm working with Swedish partners. I'm working with Switzerland. Swiss. We are going to meet at Afri Labs next week. They are all excited. They say, why? What is happening? We meet in conferences outside Nigeria. Imagine me still coming around for this happening.
So one of the things that stood out in the last panel, which I think quite a number of panelists pointed to, was the talent issue, right? So on the one hand, if you map the players, some of the key players in the top echelon in the digital economy, we have a lot of our people in that space. But it appears that for us as a people, as a region, for our people to thrive in that space, they have to migrate out of the region. And I'm sure that came out very strongly in the last panel. So I want to ask, what do we think it is that first is behind this migration of talent out of the Southeast? Is it, it appears that there is no conducive environment for them to thrive. So they naturally migrate towards where they have opportunities. So why do we think that is happening, and what do we think can be done? And I would like Arinze to first give his take, because I know, Arinze, he's always talking about Enugu jobs, and there are jobs in Enugu. And so I'd like him to share, his thoughts on this migration challenge, talent migration.
Thank you very much. So I want to, this session started off with human capital development. We were talking about the lack of talent. So I really have to say what we're trying to do over here in the United States. We have a particular loan program. It's sort of like an empowerment loan. It's called the Human Capital Development Loans, and we use it strictly for skill acquisition. So under that, we have a number of programs that are focused on digital skills. You have to start from somewhere. My research is, on average, probably you have to spend 1 million naira on average on a programmer to get into that intermediate to the expert level. It goes 10,000 hours outlier system. you have to start from somewhere to give them the basic skills. So we've done programs in programming, product design, data analytics. We have in cybersecurity coming up, digital marketing. We've trained thousands of them. Thousands of them have been able to start their own businesses. They've been able to work with other people with this new expertise that they have. And we've been able to, yes, between those two, either they go the entrepreneurial route or go into the job market. Then with the Enugu Jobs platform, which is a partnership with Jobberman.
We know the work that you have done. And I'm glad, you pointed out some of these things, especially, so from your response, I will already take that the state government needs to do more in terms of partnership and collaboration. 2 years. Now, so I want to ask you, Honorable, as a legislator, how do you think that we can begin to drive this conversation so that our state governments can begin to take the issue of ICT more seriously and understand that it is not just something that young people do, but that it is actually the future of both, the private sector and the public sector? How can we begin to push that conversation in government, both at the legislature and in the executive?
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Iben Akuno. So in answering your question, I think that is already being done. The fact that we're having this conversation here suggests that something is already being done to awaken that consciousness and to begin to have that conversation. Talking about the Enugu State, I feel that some of these things can be looked at in isolation of the other. Maybe if you're looking at the budget that is directly channeled towards ICT, you might not be able to get the gist properly. But Enugu SME is an agency that is well funded by this government to take care of things that are IT related and some that might not also be directly ICT related. So you might not just begin to look at things directly in regards to what is being done ICT wise. You need to look at them comprehensively. What is done ICT wise? What is the Enugu SME agency doing ICT wise? What is the Enugu State Investment Development Agency doing ICT wise? So you can't look at them in isolation. You need to look at them comprehensively so you'll be able to assess exactly what it is that the state government is doing. Okay, so my name is Dr. Iben Akuno. I represent Enugu North constituency in the House of Assembly. So I've just attended the startup bill, the function for the startup bill, and what I would like to see is beyond the passing of the bill at the national level. I'd like to see a domestication of this bill in the various states of the federation, and I would also like to see some level of advocacy. I don't think it starts and ends with the bill being passed. I think it continues beyond that. I would like to see some level of advocacy being continued in that path, encouraging states to begin to domesticate the bills in their various states for the benefit of the young people and for the benefits of the youth in all these various states. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shemela Nosike. I'm the founder of Solaris. Solaris is a green startup that develops products and services that contributes towards building a sustainable startup. And we are here at the Nigeria Startup Bill. A lot has been said about this bill, and I think this is a very vital conversation we should be having at this point, because startups contribute towards building digital entrepreneurship, and this goes a long way, a very long way, in increasing productivity and creating as so many jobs as possible for the country. Now, this conversation is very vital because we need a lot of policies. We need the government to come in place. We need the enabling environment for startups to strive in Nigeria. We need tax reliefs. We need all of this in order to create a lot of startups, in order to promote the startups already in existence, and as well as encourage more young persons to come up with beautiful and innovative ideas towards creating startups and driving digital economy in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Alright, so my name is Israel Chigoziri, and I am the co-founder and CEO of Foodrod. So I'm here today because of the Nigerian Startup Bill town hall meeting held in Enugu. So in summary, the Startup Bill is more of an advocacy document rather than a regulatory document. So the Startup bill seeks to get the government support towards the startup ecosystem. The bill seeks to attract the government to support the work we do as startups in Nigeria, and to create incentives to encourage startups to continue doing the work they are doing. So the bill seeks to create a rapport and to bridge the gap between the government and young businesses in Nigeria. Thank you.